It's always concerning when all the latest news coming from your club is negative. This unfortunately is the case with Celtic, as fans are still raging at the summer transfer business, and rightfully so. We will go over what's been said by some of our most vocal parts of the fan base, whilst discussing all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic FC have confirmed the signing of Nigerian international Kelechi Iheanacho on a one-year deal, with the club holding an option for a further year. The move is subject to international clearance. The 28-year-old forward broke through at Manchester City, collecting a League Cup winners' medal in 2016 before moving to Leicester City, where he made over 200 appearances and lifted the FA Cup under Brendan Rodgers in 2021. After a brief stint in Spain with Sevilla and a loan spell at Middlesbrough last season, Iheanacho now arrives in Glasgow. I know Kelechi so well and what he can bring to the team. He is such a talented player with great ability, athleticism and work rate. I am sure he will love being at Celtic, and I believe our fans will love what he brings. He has great experience and he is right in his peak years, so he can be a great signing for us. I am sure he will make a big contribution to the team. While the manager is clearly pleased, the timing and context of the deal are impossible to ignore. Celtic spent the final days of the transfer window scrambling for a striker after failing to land top targets. Casper Dolberg slipped away to Ajax, David Datro Fofana opted to stay in London over moving to Glasgow, and other avenues collapsed as the deadline passed. That left Celtic turning to the free agent market, where Iheanacho's availability presented an opportunity Rodgers was quick to seize. For supporters, though, the deal feels like the definition of last resort. After a summer of bold promises, Celtic enter the Europa League campaign without a marquee forward addition, and with growing unease over the club's ambition. We hope the striker can be a solid addition, but the narrative surrounding his arrival reflects a wider frustration. The champions have left themselves scrambling rather than planning, and fans are questioning how the recruitment strategy has allowed things to reach this point. For now, there is a striker, and Iheanacho has a chance to quickly win over a support base desperate for answers as much as goals. We're assuming he has made it in the door for the Europa League squad, which was due to be handed in at 11 p.m. this evening. Now for the main story, as Celtic supporters demanding answers from the club's hierarchy will have to wait a little longer, with the board only set to speak when the annual financial report is published. Frustrated fans have been calling out Michael Nicholson, Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond for their lack of communication during what has been one of the most difficult transfer windows in years. The silence from the boardroom has fueled rumours of a statement being prepared, but it is understood this is not the case. The next time the club's leadership will break cover is through the release of the PLC's annual results for the year ending June 2025. This is a legal obligation for Celtic as a listed company, and it will provide a picture of the club's financial health after a turbulent summer. Last year's annual report was released on the 16th of September, and with this year's still to come, supporters are watching closely for when the board will finally speak. While the report will give supporters an official update from the top, it is not expected to directly address the anger around transfer business or the failure to land Brendan Rodgers' key targets. With Casper Dolberg and David Datro Fofana turning Celtic down and Adam Idah moving to Swansea, the Irishman has been left short in attack, sparking fury across the fan base. Nicholson, Lawwell and Desmond are all in the spotlight, with calls for clarity on the direction of the club. But for now, those hoping for immediate answers will be left disappointed. The annual report will be the first official communication from the board since the close of the transfer window, and whether it calms or inflames the situation remains to be seen. In other news, Ajax have confirmed the signing of Casper Dolberg, just 24 hours after Celtic's pursuit of the striker came to an end. The Danish international has rejoined his former club in a deal reportedly worth around €10 million, with negotiations taking longer than expected before he signed a 4-year contract running until 2029. Ajax is delighted to announce the return of Casper Dolberg. Good to have you back, Casper! For Celtic, the news represents another hammer blow in a transfer window filled with frustration. Brendan Rodgers had been desperate to land Dolberg, believing his experience and pedigree could provide the firepower required for domestic dominance and European competition. Instead, the Hoops watched on as Ajax moved decisively to finalise a deal, leaving Rodgers to scramble for alternatives. With Adam Idah departing for Swansea and David Datro Fofana rejecting Celtic for Charlton Athletic, The Parkhead boss has been left without the striker he has pushed for all summer. In other news, the affiliation of registered Celtic supporters clubs has issued a strongly worded statement calling on Chief Executive Michael Nicholson to address the club's direction and strategy. The group, which represents Celtic supporters across the globe, has expressed alarm at what it describes as a lack of ambition from the board. The criticism comes in the wake of a summer transfer window that ended in disarray. Key striker targets slipped away, with Casper Dolberg returning to Ajax, David Datro Fofana choosing Charlton Athletic, and Adam Idah departing for Swansea City. Only Sebastian Tunekti arrived before the deadline, leaving the squad short ahead of vital fixtures. The affiliation argues that Celtic's failure to adequately prepare for Champions League qualifiers is part of a repeated pattern under the current leadership. Despite the club posting healthy financial results, the group claims investment on the pitch has not matched ambition off it. They are now demanding Nicholson outline the club's vision and explain the reasoning behind what supporters see as another wasted window. The statement read, "The affiliation of Celtic supporters clubs wishes to express growing concern over the club's current trajectory and apparent lack of ambition, particularly the failure to strengthen the squad ahead of this season's crucial UEFA Champions League qualifiers, despite robust financial results. This concern has been echoed not only by supporters, but also by manager Brendan Rodgers and club captain Callum McGregor. The recurring failure to adequately prepare for key European fixtures has become a troubling pattern, raising serious questions about the club's strategy, planning, and competitive priorities. We call on CEO Michael Nicholson to provide a clear and direct explanation to supporters and shareholders, outlining the club's long-term vision, its commitment to genuine footballing ambition, and the rationale behind the lack of visible progress in this summer's transfer window. At a time when decisive leadership is needed, continued silence only deepens frustration. Celtic's support demands transparency, accountability, and a plan that reflects both the aspirations of our fan base and the full potential of Celtic Football Club. These concerns have been further compounded by the disarray witnessed on the final evening of the transfer window. The affiliation's intervention highlights the scale of unrest among the support base, following what many regard as a disastrous summer. For fans, the lack of clear communication from the boardroom has become as concerning as the failure to land players. With Brendan Rodgers and Callum McGregor both voicing concerns about the depth of the squad, the group insists the board can no longer ignore the issue. Attention will now turn to the release of the club's annual report later this month, when Nicholson, Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond are expected to break their silence. Whether their message will satisfy supporters remains to be seen, but the affiliation has made clear that patience is running out. The fear for many is that unless the board changes course, Celtic risk repeating past mistakes on the European stage and squandering their financial strength at a time when real ambition is needed most.
What do you think of what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.